Hello, my name is Kevin Burnett. I'm the recently retired CFO of Sun Construction, Inc., a diversified general contractor that had business segments in industrial, heavy civil, and commercial building, did revenues of approximately $1.5 billion, and had work that went from Northern California through Central Texas. I want to congratulate each of you for deciding to take the CCIFP exam. I believe the CCIFP is one of the certifications in our industry that distinguish financial professionals and their expertise that help them lead their companies in this industry, particularly in changing times that we've had recently with the way the economy is, changes in regulation, and accounting pronouncements such as Topic 606 and lease accounting. I decided to take the CCIFP exam in December 2008 to help round out my knowledge of the construction industry and understand the areas that I needed to obtain additional knowledge, and also become familiar with the book, which will be your study guide as you go through preparing for the exam. If you're like me, you probably have some test anxiety. When I took the exam in December of 2008, it had been 25 years since I had taken an exam, and the last one I took prior to taking the CCIFP exam was the CPA exam in November of 1983. So without having taken tests for a number of years, you can imagine you're a little bit nervous taking a new exam. I can tell you, just take a deep breath. If you studied and you have good experience and everything, I think you'll find this exam is more than doable. You just have to relax, make sure you cover the areas that you think you don't have particularly strong at, and you'll do fine in the exam. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the accounting and reporting domain on the CCIP exam. It represents 23% of the exam. In the accounting and reporting domain, a couple of areas that I would highly recommend that you pay attention to. One is revenue recognition, Topic 606, not only on the recognition of revenue, but also how it impacts our balance sheet for contract liabilities and contract assets, and the presentation of costs in excess of billings and billings in excess of costs, and how they roll up into our contract assets and contract liabilities, and also the impact on the WIP. As many of you know, our WIP schedules are very important to our external users, such as the surety and the bankers, because it helps them understand our present position, our financial position as to our projects, how well we're doing in managing it, and proper presentation of that allows them to get comfortable that the information that we are providing them is accurate. Another topic I would suggest that you take a look at is the financial disclosures in our financial reporting, particularly the required disclosures that every company needs to have, such as how the company views estimates, depreciation schedules, advertising, receivables, payables. If you have joint ventures, you should look at the joint venture disclosures as well as the Topic 606, and how the presentation of contract assets and contract liabilities are portrayed on your balance sheet and in the footnotes. Another area I would suggest that you brush up on and understand is joint ventures. Many companies don't have particular experience in joint ventures, particularly relating to the financial reporting on joint ventures and how to account for them. If you haven't had a lot of experience in joint ventures, I would suggest that you go through the guidance, review that, and make sure that you're comfortable answering the questions that will come up during the point of the exam. And that's typically about 3 to 4 questions in the exam, but they are important for points, and I would suggest that you just get yourself familiar with them before you take the exam. I realize many of us are busy at our jobs, and studying for the CCIP exam takes time. One suggestion I had that worked for me is that I focused on the areas that I didn't have particular experience in. I read the book, I took notes on the book, which you're using as your study guide, and I read over my notes repeatedly before I took the exam, and that seemed to help. Particularly in the areas where I just didn't have the exposure to, such as human resources and in some areas of risk management. In the accounting and reporting area, one area that I would tell you to pay attention to is, don't forget that many of our members at CFMA are small contractors. It's particularly important to pay attention to the difference in revenue recognition between large contractors and small contractors. I can tell you, when I took the exam in 2008, I was surprised at the number of questions there were relating to smaller contractors. I think that's probably more balanced today, but is an area that you should pay attention to, particularly the larger contractors that don't have much experience in this particular area, such as completed contracts. Another suggestion I have when you're taking the exam is as you're going through the questions, if you hit a question that you're not exactly sure on, I would leave it, go on and continue on the questions that you know, and you go right through and then go back to those questions that you maybe get them down to two different answers, and you're trying to choose between the two, or you're working on a problem and trying to come up with a solution. I would suggest that you get through the questions that are easy for you, go all the way through those and go back to the ones that'll take you some more time, and then just relax and work your way through those. That to me is the best way to approach the exam and helps relieve some of the stress as you're going through the exam. As you're going through your study, I'm going to encourage you to post questions and comments to the forum. I think will get you answers to that, but also it'll be shared with your study group. And I wish you all good luck. And when you get done with the exam, go find your favorite beverage and just relax, have a beverage or two, and just enjoy the fact that the exam is over and know that you're going to pass. And can't wait to get that certificate. I wish you all the best. Thanks.